All right, guys, today we're working with our Potsdam Kino 100. If you're from the UK, it may be Potsdam. I'm not really sure. Let's check the pronunciation.
Potsdam, Potsdam.
Potsdam, Potsdam.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, whatever. Nonetheless, I'm a redneck from Indiana, so I'm going to call it Potsdam Kino 100. So what I'm going to do here is give you some of the pros and some of the cons of this film, and I'm going to show you some of the shots I got with my Mamiya M645 with the 55 to 110 zoom, which I love. It's a phenomenal setup. It's a great way to get introduced to medium format 120 photography. I highly suggest you check out those M45s. Now, the pros of this film. First of all, cool name. I like that. Potsdam, whatever it is, Kino 100. I got to admit, that's partially the attraction I had to it. Well, that's kind of a cool name. Let me check it out. So, score one for the marketing department. Number two was the price. This stuff is like $6.90 per roll in the United States, or in Indiana anyway, and that's for a 120 roll. For the 35 millimeter roll, I believe it was about $9.90, something like that, so considerably more. You, of course, get more exposures out of 35 millimeter, and I work with both, but the $6.90, that ranks, whether you want to say at the top of the scale or the bottom of the scale. You've got the Kentmere, that's Kentmere 100 and 400. Both of those are, I believe, less than $6 a roll for 120. Those are my go-to films, 35 millimeter, 120, whatever, because they have a great negative and I can work with it. So I tend to base a lot of my experiments off of the Kentmere, which is made by Ilford. It's very similar to the HP5, although the HP5 is a little better grade. I will definitely give you that. It's also $1 or so more. Is it worth the extra $1 or $2? Well, that's for a different video. Now, also, this film, Potsdam Kino 100, is also a very sharp film. That is a pro. It's a very sharp film. Assuming that you have a decent lens, your lens will make all the difference in the world. I also do like, and you'll see as we get into the photos here, I also do like the rich blacks you get from this film. They're not really solid black. They're not charcoal black. They're not what I call photocopy black. You know, some images, some film, it almost looks like you just took a Xerox photocopy. It is kind of, it almost has a silvery tint to it. Hard to explain. I do like that. There's a few things I don't like about this film, and I'm going to tell you whether I would purchase or not purchase more of this film after we get through this shoot. You might use this film for a lot of different things, probably not what I'm using it for. I'm on a kick right now where I love going behind shopping centers, shopping malls, things like that, old buildings, and taking photos of the exit doors, the pipes, and just all kinds of stuff. The litter, the trash, the dumpsters, everything behind the stores. It's kind of neat, and it's just a little phase I'm going through right now. So that's what I'm using this for. Maybe not the best use of this film. Street photography may be better. It's definitely, I wouldn't consider it a wildlife or a nature type of film, but certainly for gritty urban stuff, it works well, and it does work okay for what I shot here with this roll. So let me know what you think, guys. Stay tuned. I will be back, and I'm going to tell you my verdict on this film and what I didn't like about it. So stay tuned, and we'll get to that here momentarily. It's the first shot. I'd like to come up here and take one right here. There we go. I like that. That's cool. Okay. Pretty neat. Some other stuff we could shoot here, but like this. All right, 2/50th at f/16, so we are at 2/50th of a second. We'll put this bad boy up to f/16. There we are, like that. We're looking for shadows. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this shot up here. Not sure what we get there. Okay, so we'll just see if, I mean, there's nothing exciting, but it's a shadow and it's kind of cool, so let's see what we come up with on this. Would be a 2/50th of a second. 2/50th of a second, you probably can't see that, f/16. Okay. I like this cone. So look at this. Okay, let's see what that is. I don't know. So I pull this one. Oh, okay, this one might be better. Really not sure if it is or not, but we're going to take it anyway. We'll stay at that f8. I just like to get in black and white. I think those kind of shots look cool. I like them. I like the grit. Okay, I'm going to assume here that we're probably still going to be about 2/50th of a second, f8. There's a glare on here. I know you can't see this, but actually go down there. 2/50th of a second. Guess what? It says f8. And of course we're using 100 ISO because we're using our Potsdam Kino 100. So I like this, just kind of like this shot here. Gets there. Oh, I get everything in there, standing right here. I can back up just a hair, and that's why I'm not in the shadow. And it's not as sharp as a shadow as I'd like to see, but I'll take it anyway. Oh boy, I'd really like. Okay, I'm gonna go 1/25th of a second. And I might go f/16 just to give me some good depth of field. I can always pull up, well, I'll go f/11. I would have liked to have more for depth of field, but I think we'll get some good depth of field here. Let me know what you think. All right. Okay, guitar center, so might as well get this shot. It really does not mean anything, but since it's guitar center, kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and snatch this shot. I like to go up to about 90 or so in the lens. Gives me a nice, there you go. That way you're not too zoomed in, you're not too wide angle, and we'll just go ahead and grab this shot as is. Let me go ahead and make sure that 1/25th of a second f/11. Will be okay. So let's see here. Shows f/16. Okay, so we're gonna go f/16 on this bad boy, even give us a little more depth of field. All right, here we go. 1/25th, f/16, hold it steady. There we go. So here we've got some very neat, let's see what these would. Take it. I'm really guessing on this one at, we're gonna go 5.6, 1/25th of a second. I probably just didn't read my light meter right, because that seems weird that it would not be enough, but this certainly should be enough. Back it up here a bit. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll take it. And that's the last shot on the road. All right. Oh, there was the barbed wire I wanted. Okay, well, I took that with another camera, but it won't be with this one. So, okay, well, that's our roll. I made a notation on the last, I think it was 3 frames, that I would discuss what those weird markings were, the white kind of markings on the film. I was thinking, what's going on here? There's literally something on the emulsion, and there's not. It's clean. So I think what happened was during developing, when I was trying to get this film on the roll, it was very flimsy film. I'm going to get to that in a second. Very thin, flimsy film. And I had a hard time getting it on the spool to develop. And I think what I did was when I bent it a little bit, unlike most film, it's really sensitive to bending and that sort of thing. I've heard a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I've seen some videos when I researched this film on YouTube, and there's not a lot of videos about this film on YouTube, but when I did the research, I did come across a couple videos, a couple gentlemen that said, yes, they had this problem as well, and it's literally when you're bending the film or, at all, trying to get it on the reel, maybe it was when I was pulling it off the reel after development, it bent it, and that's what caused those streaks or those lines. I've never seen things like that. I've seen a lot of different emulsion problems with developing or scratching and dust, that sort of thing. I've never seen anything like this, so that's really head scratching to me. If you know what it is specifically, please let me know in the comments below. So, what's my verdict on Potsdam Kino 100? The biggest problem I had with this film, hands down, was this. And what is this? It's a very flimsy film. It has no sturdiness or whatever. I don't know if sturdiness is a word that we use to describe film, but it's terrible for handling. Like I said, I had a problem getting it on the spool. Why? Because it was paper thin. Thinner than paper, maybe. I don't know. And I don't mean thin as in the way the developing came out. I mean the material itself is very thin. And as you see, it bows. I've had these under books. It should be completely flat. It's not. This roll is over a month old. I developed it about a month ago. And it's still not flattened out. And you can see it's just like a little spring. It's like there's other films like that, but I don't like it. And people say, well, it doesn't matter. The final image is what is important. It doesn't matter. You just need to man up and learn to deal with flimsy film. I disagree with that. The whole process has to work for me. I have to like the way the image looks in the end, but backing up, going backwards, I have to be able to handle these negatives and put them in the negative holder to scan, and just in general try to even just get them into the negative sleeves after I'm done with them. And that's just a pain in the ass with this film. This stuff, it was a nice novelty to shoot, and I would say I probably had 4 or 5 keepers out of this roll. I'll run those right now as I'm talking, the ones that I find that I would probably put in a book or enjoy. Maybe there's more than 4 or 5. I'll put them up here. So was it worth $6.90? Yes, for the images I got, sure. Would I go buy another roll? Drum roll, please. I wanted to like it, but I just can't. Like I said, well, basically the biggest problem, the curling of the negatives and the high concentration of grain, if that's a way to word it. So that's my verdict. Would I buy it? No. Should you buy it? I would suggest buying a roll and trying it. You may like it. If you don't like flimsy films and you saw that you're not going to like dealing with all that springiness and curliness, then don't buy it, because you will deal with that. Regardless of how you develop it, you're going to have that. The grain, the character of the film certainly could be a good thing for a lot of people. If the negatives weren't so flimsy, I'd probably go buy another roll and try it in another setting to really get a good idea of what it can do, the dynamic range, that sort of thing. As it is, like I said, I got a handful of shots out of it that I'll probably like, but I'm moving on to experiment with some other film, and that's all coming up in videos to come. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Potsdam Kino 100. You like it? You don't like it? Have you tried it? Not tried it? Does this video make you want to go out and try it? Let me know. I always appreciate the comments in the comment section below, guys. It lets me know you're watching, lets me know you're engaged, and that we're all having a good time with it. So we'll see you out there. Take care, guys.